Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Verona. Hi, yes. Hello.
Hi,
look, everyone's surviving so far.
We're just in. I thought we would get like
just
a,
happened.
okay.
Just go.
We're just
Everyone
going.
was very excited. So folks who've caught a live episode, the last couple of episodes, you might have noticed we have a new intro, and the new intro has art for all of the characters in this game in it, which is great because now I'm going to kill Mark. So JP, if you could just go ahead and
Didn't this happen in season 1 as well, Adam? Where like JP had the intro made and then 2 of us died like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, the folks in the community who were doing the titles for the old Verona intro, I think they did it, and then 2 weeks later, yeah, your character died, and then we lost one of Bronze's characters, and it was a whole thing. It's nice too when you lose a character, and then every time you go to do a new episode, you get to watch chat be like, oh, this is a shame. You just died. Like, oh, she's dead. Oh no, new character, different names. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But you've come to terms with your fate today, Mark. You're ready.
Absolutely. Always. It's always
good.
I mean, to balance out the equation, I was running a D&D game for some friends privately last night, and I killed 2 of them. So the cosmic balance has been paid out, you know. So
cosmic balance, cycle of abuse, whichever you want to call it.
Whichever way you want to call it, it's fine.
We've got proof.
Just
so have you
know, wait, for the record, even though 2 people are totally fine with the player death, I would just like to object here and hope that Vana and Elspeth also agree with me. Like, I am not okay with that. Just for the record.
I don't know, DJ. Reverse psychology, man. That's not how Adam works. You have to be like, yeah, who cares if Adam dies, and then Adam will be less motivated to do it.
Adam knows like that he would see right the fuck through me because he knows how much like character deaths affect me. So
he's Canadian. He's not a mind reader.
This conversation makes me kind of excited for the inevitable roast of DM Adam when we get around to that. So, JP, if you ever want to spend a couple of hours just getting old players together to shit talk me, I'd be okay with that. That'd be all right for me.
Yep.
My birthday is in November, so yeah. I don't think I've never killed you before, Marcus. We have a good relationship.
That is correct, but that's because I will never put myself into a situation that would allow you to kill me. That has still not stopped you from getting really fucking close before, but
True.
you know.
Yes.
I don't appreciate that meta, honestly, Marcus.
I am starving, but like
a roll or 2. Yeah.
I have a really I can hardly handle character deaths. Like it's devastating to me.
I remember how upset you got as a person when Mr. Sakarian left the party. He retired. He got everything he wanted.
I couldn't believe
he left the party to go and to live the life he always wanted. And you were like, personally, Marcus was very upset about that. And I remember
I was.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah. I remember that moment. Yeah.
Anyway,
I noticed. I wanted to ask Mark. I wanted to ask you and Vana about this. So Vana, Salt Bay. I noticed last week you were doing episodes remotely, right? You guys have moved to doing that for the time being. Are you guys doing that for High Rollers too, Mark, or are you still trying to meet in the studio and do the thing?
No, we're gonna move to remote for at least the next 4 weeks. To try and just minimize as much as we can. Obviously, like we want to try and get back to the studio because it's a lot of investment and we like playing together, but. Yeah, we're gonna be trying a bunch of different stuff. So we're gonna try remote play with like Roll20 and various bits and bobs and software. But yeah, it's gonna be an experience because a lot of the guys in High Rollers aren't streamers. They aren't people that stream and don't have streamers set up. So that's why we're kind of in a scramble to try and get it all set up and to a good standard of quality basically. So yeah, that'll be tomorrow. That'll be our first game online tomorrow. So
cool. Yeah.
I've got to try and figure out a load of stuff with Roll20. So
I don't think it even occurred to me until like later this week that a lot of groups that do play like in person are now scrambling to produce episodes or like find a way to adapt. So I'm just like, role-playing games. Yeah, you just play that by yourself in your room with a computer and your friends somewhere else alone in a room on their computer. So this is normal to me, but it's been interesting seeing a lot of people tweet about that. Yeah.
That format. isn't it also interesting? I mean, like I've been watching a lot of news and shit, but like Jimmy Fallon's doing his show from home, and like CNN is literally a fucking Skype show that is produced in $1 million studio. And to me, I'm just like, this is fucking amazing because it adds so much legitimacy to like what everyone on Twitch does, because no one gives a fuck if they're in a $12 million studio or not, right? People want to be entertained. They want to be informed, or, you know, they want to be on the edge of their seat, right? Like fucking, that is actually awesome to see.
Yeah. It's like, I think that we spent a really long time thinking that Twitch streaming started as Wayne's World and would become CNN, but it's the opposite, where everything is just joining us here in our weird basement. Like, we're not alone anymore. People are like, wait a second, I could just do my job from my house.
Right.
My basement isn't weird, it's eclectic.
Wow. That is the perfect voice.
Yo,
thank you, everybody.
My basement has a mural of Jesus on it still.
Wait, really?
You ever said to me, hey, Adam, do you want to come and check out my basement? The answer is no. Do not go into Vanna's basement, everyone. You will never come out. You will join the wall of skulls. I know your tricks.
I actually only have a crawl space, so we're going to have to move this large brick and then get on your belly and sort of army crawl in there. But I've got all my action figures in there, so if you want to see them, you're going to have to do it.
Yeah, you're going to have to find somebody else to act out your Cask of Amontillado cosplay with. I am not interested.
God, that story scared the fuck out of me when I was a kid. When I read it, I was like, oh.
Yeah, the story about the guy getting bricked into a wall scared you? That is the correct response. Yes.
It's so terrifying. And I'm like, you guys, did you ever read this story? They're like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm like, no, the guy gets like bricked in the wall, like alive. It's horrifying, dude.
There's no Amontillado in here at all. Oh,
Man,
no.
it gives me the willies.
Yeah.
Do you really have a mural of Jesus in your basement?
I sure
I
do.
was waiting. I was
Here,
waiting.
let me tell you about that real quick. So when I moved in, the family was super nice and they were awesome. Like we made jokes about dead bodies in the basement, you know, all that. But they have a mural of Jesus in the basement. He's like watering some plants. And I was like, so why is Jesus in the basement? He was like, well, we had theology students here. And so before he had a family, he was with his roommates and they were all like theology students at Notre Dame. So they just painted Jesus on the wall. And there's another really cool painting of like birds in this really pretty tree. So it's not like creepy, honestly. You don't look at it, you're like, whoa, like that's too much Jesus. It's just like, he's just watering some plants.
And I think the most upsetting thing to me is that there's a man in my house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's not. Okay, that's fair. We hate men in this house. Yeah, it was just like, it was odd, like to look at and be like, all right, I can work out with this though. Like I honestly, like I have my elliptical down there, so I'm just like, all right, Jesus. You water your.
She was doing like, I wish his other hand was like a thumbs up to you or something while you were.
You know that feeling. You know that feeling you can get where you walk into a house and you can tell there's a TV on. Like you can't hear it, but you can. There's that feeling, or maybe it's like a high pitched noise, and you're like, there's an appliance on. There's a TV on in here somewhere. I'm like that, but with pictures of Jesus. If I go into somebody's house, I'm just like, Can you just put that picture face down for a minute?
You'd be like, God, this woman is she is a closet religious person. You'd go down to my base and be like, oh yeah, she definitely like for sure likes her the J-man. Also, yes, it is white guy Jesus. So I mean they were white, so I can only imagine they were like, yes, Christ, Jesus was white, blah blah blah. But yeah, it's just white guy it's not creepy, right? It's just I've got Jesus in my basement. So
I feel like the more you scream, it's not creepy, the creepier it becomes. I don't think that's a valid.
I'm gonna take a picture of it. I'm gonna take a picture of it and post it on Twitter and be like, "Here's the Jesus that I have in my basement." I don't.
Thank you for the content warning, Elspeth. I'll keep an eye out so I can scroll past it as fast as I can.
I tag you in it, so you specifically will see it.
Yeah. Photoshop Adam's face on it.
Please do not tag me in pictures of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Oh no, it's
hire
done.
a professional artist. Paint Adam's face over Jesus' face.
So a while back, I was like, "Hey, Mom, can you come help me paint over Jesus?" And here's the thing about my mom.
Oh my God.
She has Catholic guilt. She has Catholic guilt from being raised Catholic. So she's like, maybe we should just leave him up. Come help me
make some curtains for you.
Yeah, no. So I've got to do it myself. I'm gonna paint over myself, and then just watch some bad shit happen to me, dude.
That's a sin.
I was gonna say, do you feel like you're inviting dark spirits by painting over the picture of Jesus that might be protecting you from?
He's protecting you. Yeah.
I'm gonna say no, but he also doesn't really bother me that much. So I'm like, do I want to put my time and effort into painting over this mural of Jesus that some theology students painted a while back in the basement?
Put in the time,
I don't know.
Yeah. If you're gonna put in the time, what you got to do is on the opposite wall paint an enormous picture of Satan playing an electric guitar, and then you're good.
Such a good idea.
The counter, it's like a balance thing.
Friends.
It'll be nice.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll really good. Really good neutrality.
I love that idea,
room.
Adam. That's solid. Because I was 100% in the paint over Jesus boat. So I'm just thinking, Elspeth, there's got to be 10 million things that aren't Jesus that if you had a picture of up there would make you so happy and not confused.
I could just paint like Toad. Just paint Toad in my basement.
Hello.
There you go.
Hello.
And every time you looked at it, you would be happy.
My savior right there.
Yeah.
He is my savior.
Lord and Savior.
Let's put
Toad.
it like, find a middle ground. Just put Toad's head on Christ,
Jesus.
and then you'll have, and he's got his halo already built into
Minimum
his head.
painting
And you can make it really
required.
small too. Yeah, so he's got a tiny head with the big Toad hat, but his body is the body of Christ. So you
I hope it's like ripped. It should be ripped like
idea.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I hope.
So
Adam,
six pack, yeah.
Would you like to? Would you
my
like to
God.
quit the show and just go do interior decorating with me?
Yes,
I would.
absolutely. I am
just-
the fucking Michelangelo of this shit. Let's do it.
We could spin up some new Gmails, and we can teleconference some ideas, and
What we really got to do though is we got to hook up either like a reality TV thing to go along with the company or a podcast. Let's do an interior decorating podcast to go with our company. That'll be the way we really sell it. I think it's time.
The way that you're allowed to have hobbies these days.
You could only get the podcast from a Starbucks, right? You have to get one of those cards, and you have to. How about that? Is that?
Yeah.
Brand deal.
All those totally open and operable Starbuckses that are out there right now. Yep. You gotta laugh.
It'll be huge
in these hard times. You gotta laugh, otherwise you're gonna cry. How's Animal Crossing for everybody who's playing it? Our little escape from reality. How is it going?
Okay, wait. Can we just take a fucking moment? Both of the women on this show were like, Animal Crossing.
I was just shaking my head because I don't play it.
I am a stereotype and I'm upset about it. God damn it.
Listen,
Animal Crossing's for everyone. Come on.
It is totally for
Adam's
everyone.
playing it. Adam's playing it.
I'm pitching the question. I can't also take swings at it from home base. That's a sports metaphor. I can't do both. So yes,
You've
I'm
never
also
seen a
excited
sport,
about it.
Adam, for fuck's sake.
It's true. I was
Jesus.
thinking that as well. I was like, don't pretend you know sports.
I've seen sports. I've been to a curling match once or twice. All right.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I have a curler
Okay.
in my community, and I fangirled on them when they
I know what
told me.
Zamboni looks like.
So dope.
Oh my god!
Yeah, Animal Crossing's great.
good.
I have a villager named he's a little tiny frog, and his name is Frobert.
He's so cute.
That's very cute.
It's almost Frogbert. Okay, Marcus.
What? Wait,
Live
what?
feed from
Okay.
DJ.
How did
What?
he set that up? That's amazing.
Wow.
Right.
Are
That
you
took some
playing
effort.
right now?
What? Playing
That's
what? I don't
live.
know. What did I
I
hit
think
something
it
I
is.
shouldn't have
let's
hit?
What a
this
dick.
is
What?
just take a second.
Wait,
Can I
Animal
point
Crossing?
out?
I
this is
love
the-
Animal
this is the-
Crossing. It's great. I think it is.
This is
like,
the immaculate mastership that is djWheat. This is the production skill. Not only did Marcus just picture in picture a game of Path of Exile, there was a circle wipe both in and out. There was a full production shift. I'm expecting a stinger any minute now advertising another show. But also, I think this is a really great way that we can build on our viewership. It's mostly Verona, but if you get bored, you can
So
watch
hey,
Marcus.
Dude Man Reno 41, thanks for the sub, man. I appreciate it.
Oh my god.
He's the best.
I
You're the fucking
hate it
best.
here. I
Oh,
fucking
I love
hate
him.
it here.
Oh, Marcus
I'm
is
just
my.
fucking around.
Oh.
I've
do I get
never
back to
hated
my
my
phone?
life more than I do right now.
Thing is, this is perfect
Now,
for JP.
this moment.
JP's
This
loving
moment.
it.
Yeah, there you go, JP. There's all your PoE viewers. So Marcus is just going to spend the next 2.5 hours playing Path of Exile, and I guess
That's not
the four
true.
of
I
us are
wouldn't
going to
do that.
commentate. But I've
Maybe
never
I
played
did
this
that.
game, so the
he's
red man
picking
is
up
running.
a
He's
Chaos
picking up some
Orb.
objects. Not interested in that
Look at
scroll
those
of wisdom.
jumps.
Look at him jumping. What is this guy, Mario?
Enough.
Wow.
Seriously. Oh, seriously. That's
Boy, yep. Well, I don't know how
I'm
we can
leaving.
get
I'm gonna
anywhere
go
from
away.
there, so
I'm
Me
never
too,
gonna
dude.
come
Let's-
back.
Vanna, come over to my island and we'll just hang out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be right over.
Yeah,
fuck
dude.
these men.
Oh, shit.
Ugh.
Why am I being
well-
thrown in this? What am I
I
doing?
guess
Poor Mark.
no, I guess it's just you and me, Mark. So get ready to die, bud.
That's pretty much
Um,
like
but-
the last. That's probably how this start is going to start anyway. Just you
I
killing
do
me.
I do have peaches. I have peaches. If anyone wants peaches, I got peaches.
I have cherries. Let's trade.
Oh, let's do it.
Hype.
Perfect. Good. Well, Mark and I are going to
Your
do an
Path of
episode of
Exile.
Verona, but if everybody else wants to play a video game, I just imagine now the three of you, like Haley, Johnny, and Yasna, coming back in the auto car, just playing video games and not paying any attention to what's going on. You get back to a big crater, it'll be fine. But yeah, let's recap the last episode and then let's start throwing explosives around, shall we? Previously on Far Verona, Autumn spares the life of the synth they've been calling Martin. Despite his being a danger, she believes that his life is worth saving. Yasna and Diocles make a deal. He'll help them get off-world and they'll spare his life. Hugh and Johnny tidy the shop, which reminds Hugh that he might have a chance to call in a favor. He speaks to a voice on the other end of the phone, referring to himself as Plaskett and asking for aid, admitting he's at the end of his rope. After the call, the party splits up. Hugh, Autumn, and Hadil stay behind while Yasna, Johnny, and Haley make a trip north to pick up a package, which turns out to be an encrypted currency vault that needs Hugh's ID and biometrics to open. They head back. In the base, Hadil and Hugh are packing up. Hugh gives Autumn a pre-tech reset button, a syringe that can reset a synth to their factory settings, effectively destroying their memories and experiences. They use 2 of the 3 available to reset Martin and Christine. Christine is locked into some kind of user registration mode, and Martin reveals that he's actually Ian, a labor synth. Unfortunately, that doesn't last, and his implanted communicator injects Crux code, to which Ian responds by trying to kill Hugh. Autumn and Hugh attempt to flee. Hadil holds Ian back in the basement as he forces Christine to imprint on him. Autumn, on a view screen upstairs, sees Hadil disappear, and a whole lot of blood. She calls the local law enforcement for help and prepares to make yet another difficult decision. Will her friends arrive in time to help, or will this all end in terrible, fiery misery?
What?
So
The latter,
dramatic.
I'm just
So
asking important
dramatic.
questions.
My God.
Oh my god.
Drama. Men are too emotional to be in charge, to be honest.
Yeah.
If you keep saying things
disagree.
like that, I'm going to burst into tears and not be able to GM. So back off, okay?
My
Just need a little room.
You're a terrible reporter. Okay, stop asking these different questions.
Oh.
Nasty questions.
I'm from another country. I can
Oh,
say these
God.
things. Lul.
You know what? The more you make fun of me, the more I'm going to editorialize in the pre-show. So next episode will be like, tiny moron Haley Sky did another stupid thing. Yeah,
Not
so-
wrong. Not inaccurate.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, after the last episode, I went and watched some videos highlighting some of the major performances by Shirley Temple. I watched a bunch of Shirley Temple videos
Upsetting,
after
right?
last episode. Terrifying.
All upsetting.
Just
Every single
like,
one of them is so
really-
upsetting.
not good.
Yeah.
How did people ever think that was a good idea? And then why did
It
we
was a
replicate
whole
thousands
wave.
of
Like
years later?
Shirley
Yeah.
Temple was like the forefront of it, but there was like a term. There's like a umbrella term for like putting like young children in these very adult situations, and it was
grim.
just like a theme
Yeah.
for a long time in like the film industry, and it was just so
what
creepy
like
and inappropriate.
age range was that, or not age range?
Like
What like year
8
range?
to 10,
years?
7 to 10. Yeah.
No,
Basically,
I'm
as
sorry.
soon as movies were invented.
Oh.
Okay. Like the 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
40s and 50s. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of innocent people in way over their head, Mark, I guess let's start with you. So Yasna,
Yes.
Haley, and Johnny, you are, just to recap where everybody, like physically where all the characters are, so that we can get a good idea of this. So Haley, Johnny, and Yasna are in the they're in the car. They are on their way back to the city and back to the sporting goods store. And I think that at the beginning of the episode, Haley, the three of you are in that car and you're at the edge of the city. You're still a ways out, but you're on your way to the place. You've left the wilderness of the tundra and you're almost back. And Autumn, you are standing outside the elevator door that leads up to the greenhouse and down to the lab basement. Downstairs, either Hadil or Hadil's corpse is down there somewhere. Last time we saw her, she was like, "Go on, save yourself, get Hugh out of here," and shoved you into the elevator. Hugh and Diocles both have fled. They've not like out forever gone, but they've gotten away from danger. Hugh has entrusted you with the knowledge and the key to self-destruct the base.
Sure.
You have a pipe bomb in your hand. The
Yes.
elevator doors are opening, and inside we see Ian, aka Fake Martin, covered in Hadil's blood and his own, otherwise nude,
Naked.
holding I think he's holding a scalpel. Have you still got your scalpel? Yep. And then next to him, also covered in blood but not nearly as naked, is Christine. And the vibe that I'm kind of thinking for these two characters is like the way they interact with each other and the way they're, especially Christine, is like a Natural Born Killers vibe, or like the couple that robs the diner at the beginning of Pulp Fiction. Like there's this kind of tweaked like desperation in Christine. And and so the doors open, you see these two synths in the elevator. You do have an opportunity. Would you like to lob the bomb?
Well, that's what I said I was doing at the end of the last session, so let's stick with that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do is you can make a ranged attack.
Oh,
The difficulty is two purples.
Okay.
I'm spending a story point on this.
Yep. In that
so
case,
I'm gonna
so
spend a
will
story
I.
point. Okay.
And
As
so
will
will
I.
I. And my
so
story
will I.
point.
And my axe.
Listen, Gimli, the axe is communal property. It belongs to everyone in the fellowship. It's not your axe. Anyone can use it. So stop pretending like it's your axe, Gimli.
As for everybody at home, I did upgrade my range skill ahead of this week. I've got one rank in it, so cool. That's it. Just one upgrade on either side.
Before you roll this, how many strain do you have left?
Adam, if I tell you that, it will ruin the surprise.
I mean, you know that I can look at your character sheet. And you know that everyone in chat can look at your character sheet too. I just want to hear you say it.
Do you really though?
I do.
Two left. I have two strain
remaining.
I have two strain remaining, and I have 8 wounds, which in Genesis can go very quickly. Those wounds. So
yes, that's true. Like for example, if you throw this bomb wrong.
Yeah, two purples, one upgrade on either side.
Either side. You got it.
And then ranged, just ranged.
Yes.
Brilliant. Off to a great start.
All right. Okay. So you hit the timer on the bomb.
You recover some strain, buddy.
You heard now.
I'm thinking, do I want to save that for a boost?
You can hang on to it for
I need to hang on to
3 blue dice on your next roll.
I think I'm going to need those blues because I think that this is going to become like if he grabs me or anything, I'm done. I'm done.
And you got a failure. So this means that the bomb does not go where you wanted. So I think probably what happens is that you throw it and Ian is coming out of the elevator, and I think he swipes at it in the air and he hits it, and it goes flying into it goes into the room, like elsewhere in the room, and it blows up, obviously, because it's a bomb and that's what they do. So it explodes, and so suddenly there's like a high-pitched ringing in your ears. The air is suddenly full of smoke and debris. All of this happens at once. There's like a deep, low thump, and you lose your hearing, and the room is suddenly swimming. There's fire, and Haley, Johnny, and Yasna, I think that you can see in the distance. You can see like a flash and smoke rising from there. It's a pipe bomb, right? So you take out most of the room, and now it's all smoky, and you can't really hear. And you can still kind of see these blurry shapes. They're definitely still coming towards you.
Okay, but I don't take any damage or anything like that. So
no, nobody does. I mean, the room does.
Okay.
You've blown a big chunk out of the
but nothing happens to either side.
I imagine since this room is storage for like excess stock, the bomb got knocked into a like crate with a bunch of like winter coats and stuff in it. And when it blew up, there was a kind of charred, like there are ashes falling from the sky as all of the stuffing from the coats, the synthetic stuffing, gets lit on fire and is burning and drifting down from the ceiling.
Okay, I am just running straight for the office. I run straight for the office and the button. Like this plan. The plan was to try and the bomb would disable him and then give me time to go rescue Hadil. That has not worked. Now I have to blow up the place. I have to. So I make a run for the office.
Yeah, let's make a roll. I'll give you Ian's difficulty. Christine, you can hear kind of over the screeching sound in your ears, the ringing. You can hear Christine shrieking, and she's yelling like,
so she's
killer,
still
killer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so she's just cheering Ian on, and Ian, crouches down slightly, and then just Terminator runs after you. Yeah,
he's the T-1000 fucking knife hands coming at me.
Pretty much.
I do have the rifle
in his hand.
So you're gonna will not be able to.
You're gonna to get to the office. Before Ian gets to you, you're gonna need to make a athletics roll. There'll be an opposed athletics roll. So the difficulty then would be 2 reds and a purple for Ian's athletics.
Okay. Are you spending a story point?
Nah.
I am spending a story point. And I'm going to spend my 3 blues on this as well. From my previous advantage. Because I've got 1 green. So here we go. Complete blank.
Okay.
Nothing.
Right.
So that's a change in the status quo, I guess.
That's right. So you can't get there. So he wanted to grab you and you wanted to get away into the room before he does. So neither of those things happen. So I think probably you run up to the door and you hit the button and the door is damaged. The door's been damaged by the explosion, or maybe the lock on the door doesn't have power and so it's shut, like it's a fire door. But you have enough time to do something else. Ian is dashing towards you. Maybe he gets slowed down, like a chunk of the ceiling falls between you and he needs to go around it. So you've bought yourself the opportunity to do something else. But you glance over your shoulder and he's right there. There's fire coming up between the two of you, and you see his face limbed in the fire. Your eyes are watering. What do you want to do?
Yeah. So I mean, depending on how, like, could I like shoot the door to like open it? Like, you know, maybe like the power's still there, but it's like, you know, blocked or jammed or something like that. Can I? Can I force it open with like because I've got Hadil's laser rifle. So I was thinking like, wait, could I like blast like the lock or something?
You can do one of 2 things. You can spend a story point to just do it, right? And that's the classic, like I shoot the lock and the door opens, or we can make a roll and decide.
I will spend a story point. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to burn them all. They're all mine.
You need them. Go, go, go.
Yeah, and then I just dash in to try and...
The rifle, and I don't know if Autumn would know this. Yeah, if Yasna were here, Yasna would be able to tell you that laser weapons, like at this close range, you're good, but in an environment this smoky, you know, out past a few feet, the laser's not going to do as well. So yeah, you can use it as a tool. Certainly, Autumn probably wouldn't know that. Yeah. So you fire once into the mechanism of the door. The door disconnects, the emergency disconnect, and it cracks open. And you
I can kind of see her.
you turn to look back where Ian is, and he's gone. He's not standing where you were, but again, it's all smoky and dark. So what do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna fall through my plan because like I'm just gonna assume that something's still going on. So like I kind of envision that she shoulder barges the door, bursts through, and then sort of like lands on the floor and scrabbles to where the button set into the floor safe is, and I'm gonna whack it.
All right. So you have to shoot the door. You have to elbow it a couple of times to get it open. It bursts open. We see Ian rise up behind you and lunge for you. You fall into the room. He's gonna try to grab your ankle. So because you're gonna crawl under the desk, right, and hit the button. So he's gonna try to grab your ankle and drag you back to the door. So I'm gonna make a roll this time.
I hate this too.
Yeah. How are you resisting? What skill do you want to use? Are you
Can I use my like?
So you're resisting with Ron.
Can I use like? Because I know, like, obviously, I'm going to try and leverage because my brawn is my weakest thing, and I don't think Autumn would use physical strength.
It could be.
She would either
brawn,
try and
it could be coordination.
I think coordination would be the closest thing I have to a defense. Like she's trying to like agilely kind of like tuck her legs away and sort of like because she's smaller as well. Like she's kind of using her size and grace to try and wiggle her way through. Because all I need to do is just touch this button. That's all she's thinking. I just need to hit this button.
Okay.
So yeah.
So if you succeed, you get it. If you succeed, you get it. Or if I fail, because I'm gonna roll this time. If I fail, then you get away quickly enough that you have a second to hit the button, and then we can talk about getting you out of the building. But if I succeed, then Ian grabs your ankle, and you have to do something else to get away. So what's the difficulty? Give me my.
So I've got one yellow and one green in coordination. So it's one red and one purple.
Okay. I'm gonna spend a story point. Buy myself an upgrade.
I will spend a story point.
Okay. All right. Upgraded difficulty.
Desperation.
All right. Here we go. Uh-oh. All right.
Jesus Christ.
So you feel the iron grip
strain
of this killer synth. And you feel him like suddenly grab, and it feels like he's grabbing the bones in your ankle. Like if he squeezed a little harder, it would break your ankle. And so you look back and you see his soot and blood covered hand. He's crouched. Like he's not crawling. He's got this kind of weird like Dancer of the Boreal, or that first boss in Dark Souls 3, the Boreal Valley, when he's like crouched down and he's holding and he's holding your ankle and he's looking up his arm and up your leg at you as you look back at him, and then he yanks and you slide across the floor towards him, and he raises the scalpel to stab you. What are you gonna do?
That's a quick question. That one threat, do you want to inflict one strain or?
Yeah, I'll take a
black die.
Yeah,
you'll take a strain. Okay.
I'll take a strain.
The only thing I can now do, this would be her defensive, would be biopsionics. This is like the last ditch effort. To basically cause, basically I want him to like let go and lock down, basically, or like so I've got time to get away. So I want to
totally just force him to open his hand and let go of you. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, then, so it's two strain to activate it. Do you want to?
Well, I can use my talent, which lets me burn. But did we change that? Because I still have the sonic strain. Take 1 wound, gain 2 strain. Can I still do that? Because I know we talked about torching being differently.
Yeah, I think it's spend the strain you have or torch. It's one or the other. Yeah. So if you torch,
I'm gonna have to torch. You
can roll on the.
I'm gonna have to.
You want to torch? Okay. All right.
I've only got 1 strain left, so.
Okay, roll a d100. So you take one wound and a crit.
This is the only thing I can do.
Low. 18, not bad. Okay, distracted. You cannot perform a free maneuver during your next turn. So that just means that if you're gonna move, you can't move as far, right?
Yeah, which hopefully I won't need right now. That's going to affect me getting out, I imagine, rather than dealing with this.
Mark that critical wound because it's going to need to heal separately.
Yes.
So we see Autumn torch, right? We see you physically use up the energy of your body. Probably we get the classic like blood dripping from your nose. I'm using psychic powers thing, and and then you attempt to overload his nervous system so that he'll seize up and let go of you.
Okay. I just added. Oh, was that the right one? Off balance? Oh, that was a different one. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's something's on there.
So now you're gonna roll,
Mhm.
and the difficulty is have we been doing this? He's resisting with it's his body that resists, not his brain in this
Mhm.
case, because you're just attacking his nervous system. Okay, all right.
Well, it's because he's conscious and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, two. Let's see, Brawn and oh, not bad. Okay, all right. It's just gonna be two purple. But I'm gonna spend a story point. So, like,
I will too.
It's high stakes situation. Okay. All right. So one upgrade on either
not.
side, which we might as well just leave. One upgrade on either
Yeah.
side, and then two.
Well, because there's
purples,
chances for more triumphs and despairs, I guess. So it's still worth doing.
Yes.
Yeah,
totally.
All right, and then biosonics.
Oh shit!
Get fucked mine. Get fucked mine.
So successful. Okay.
Oh my god.
All right. So two triumphs and two successes.
Yeah.
So yeah. So so it's you had one success canceled by a difficulty, and so you get two triumph and two success. I mean,
so
it's a crit, right? So what happens?
Yeah, so he lets go. Well, there's two different triumphs there, right? So the success is he lets go of me. Can I spend one triumph to basically cause his body to seize up, so he like gets locked in for a brief moment, like a kind of like a paralysis through his body? And then the other triumph, can I use a triumph to negate the crit injury? Like, because it's biopsionics? Like,
no. But what I will suggest is so you can increase effect.
Good idea.
Think of it in terms of depth and breadth and depth, right? So you can have the effect you wanted to affect his hand. You can spend a triumph to have it affect his whole body, and then you can spend the other one to have it last longer. So all you need is 10 seconds. So you can definitely do that.
Okay, bam. That's what I do. But first button.
All right. So you hit him with your mind. You feel the horrible pain of the headache, and you see him start spasming. You hear Christine scream, like, "What did you do to him?" And she runs over to him, and you crawl under the desk, turn over, pull out the key, turn the key in the thing, and so here you go. You're lying under the desk. There is the button. You see Christine. Ian is out of action for the rest of this moment, but Christine is looking up at you and picking up the scalpel like, "You bitch, look what you did to my man." What are you? That's literally her entire paradigm. What do you want to do? You just hit the button?
Hit the button if I can, and then if I've got anything, if I can do anything else, I'd shoot the laser rifle at Christine.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So you
get away from me, you bitch.
Yeah, right. You could do one or the other. You can either shoot her or hit the button. If you hit the button, then you have to act quickly to shoot her, or you shoot her first and then hit the button. Which one do you want to do?
Button first, the higher priority.
Okay. All right. So you hit the button, and then you grab the rifle, right, to bring it to bear. And she throws herself at you, right? And just like shrieks and throws herself at you. And above you, you hear a single, somewhat urgent boop, 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 and you can see a little bar starting to fill. So she throws herself onto you to try to stab you. What is your? I mean, if you're shooting her, right? So it's your.
Yeah. Well, is she making an attack against me? Because there's like the normal melee, I guess. Like.
Yeah, I think rather than having to do initiative, I like the idea of resolving it as one roll.
Contested checks, yeah.
Yeah, right. So in this case, she's the aggressor, so I'll roll, but you're going to essentially defend with your shooting skill. And if I fail, she gets shot, and if I succeed, you get stabbed. Because somebody's going to get gouged here. So thankfully, she's not nearly as scary as Ian. So I'm rolling 3 green for this.
Okay. I have 1 yellow and 1 green in ranged.
Okay. All right. So 3 green and then 1 and 1.
Add 5 blue to that roll too.
Just add 5.
Yeah, weird.
Add 5 blues.
Blessing of djWheat. Are you Mark, do you want to spend a story point?
I'm not this time. I think I'm gonna need it. If I'm gonna get out of here, I think I'm gonna need it in the next few seconds.
All right, I'll spend 1. So.
Yeah, I figured.
Okay.
With 3 greens. It just means that she's going to get 1 yellow as well.
So what you need is for me to fail as much as possible. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah. That's not a failure.
Unfortunately, I did not fail. I did not. Nope. No. So you're gonna take some damage.
Yep.
She leaps on you and stabs you with this scalpel. The damage on this, she doesn't have enough to crit with it. So the damage on this is 6. So you take 6 damage.
6 damage. Ooh. Yes. I'm on 1 wound left.
Okay, so remember, once your wound threshold goes over, you don't get knocked out. Yeah, don't forget to soak some of that damage because you'll have a.
I soak 1
from your own blood.
I have a soak of 1.
Okay, so you'll take the 5. You're not knocked out at full. It just means every hit after that is a crit. Okay, so she lunges for you. You fire. She knocks the barrel of the rifle out of the way. She slashes you. It probably in the arm because you have arms up. Knocks it this way. Yeah, hits you in the upper arm. Right, catches you there. And now the two of you are like scrapping under this desk, and she's trying to stab you. And you have looking up at her on top of you. You see the lights like filling slowly up above you. Meanwhile, Yasna, Johnny, and Haley, you're driving into town, right? You've entered the same district as the. I just imagine Haley's out the sunroof, like waving to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
How are you doing?
So you see this flash and the smoke in the distance, and then you hear sirens. You hear the sound of sirens, and maybe the car automatically stops at an intersection as 3 planetary police force vehicles like rip by. Sirens Dopplering as they disappear in the direction you're headed. There is clearly danger in that way, and I think maybe you're all having that feeling of like that explosion can't be where we're going. There's a lot of buildings, right? But
oh shit!
Wait, who was driving?
No one.
You.
The vehicle is an auto.
The vehicle
autopilots unless you. Yeah, unless you want to. I feel like most vehicles are like this in the distant future. But Haley, you could theoretically override it if you want to get there faster. But the vehicle gives you an alert, and it says the area you are attempting to enter is under police lockdown. This vehicle cannot, under authorization, move into that area. And on the map, you see a little police cordon, and it says, "We apologize for the inconvenience. Please remain in the vehicle until you are given police permission to leave." So. Yeah, Johnny, I think you're sitting at the driver's seat, but the vehicle kind of like locks up and just sinks down onto the ground.
So,
okay, Johnny, get ready. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Ready for what?
Sorry, go ahead, DJ.
Get ready, Johnny. No, so we've seen the picture of that alley and the shop, many times. It was up there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Can you help us understand it? Like, did that alley stop, or is there a potential that we could, right? We always came in through the alleyway near the front of the store, but there had to have been another alley, right?
Yeah, I'll do another quick drawing, but basically it's like there are stores all along this main road.
Right.
And then if this is the store you're in, right? The danger store, there's also other stores. There are other stores behind it. And then another main street up here. So you could theoretically, you wouldn't be able to pull into these like small footpath alleys, right? They're
no. I'm thinking more just like over.
You could hook into a bigger one and then get out, or come at it from another street.
Over, right? Like, is there? Yep. Is that the end of the alley? Right?
No. I can't zoom out far enough. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of buildings clustered with main streets and alleys. It's kind of a warren of back alleys and stuff. So yeah, you could definitely get there from the back if you wanted. It depends. Do you want to stay? If you stay in the vehicle, the closest you can get is nowhere unless somebody breaks the police control on the vehicle. If you get out and run for it, it'll take you longer to get there, but you're foot traffic, so you could ostensibly avoid any police cordon and slip into the alley.
Well, I don't think we should drive directly up to it, but I do think we should get closer. Right? We must get close.
Great, I'll rig the car.
All right, where did you come up with such an amazing idea?
I'm just smart like that.
Well, and like this seems to be a thing that you do. You're reminded of the drone repurposing back on the farm, right? Like this is a thing Haley's done before. So you have two approaches. You can either hack the hardware or the software, right? It's either a mechanics roll, so you get under the dash and crack it open, and or you reset the software.
I mean, they're the same for me, so I guess it doesn't matter.
All right, this is just like consumer grade, like anti-tampering. It's not that complex. So do two greens in your pool, and then make a mechanics roll.
So wait, no,
or sorry, two
nothing
purples
on.
Rather.
Oh, I was gonna say what?
Yeah,
Adam, who are you?
That just gets easier. No, two purples.
Okay, and then can I use a story point as well, please?
Yeah, of course.
For one upgrade on my side. Okay.
Heck yeah.
Let's do
Let's do these.
Let's do the mechanics.
Nice. All right. So you take two strain. I think I'm just gonna I'll just put the strain on you. But you get a success. So Johnny at the console.
Oh, sorry. I have 2 soak. So what is that? That means I take 0.
It's
just soak doesn't reduce.
No,
strain.
it's soak doesn't. Yeah, it's just for getting physically hurt. So yeah, you just take 2 strain. And Johnny, you hear Haley. It just takes a second. You hear Haley fucking around under the console, and then the amber warning screen you're looking at changes from a triangle with an exclamation mark to a smiley face, and it says manual control activated. Drive safe, and the vehicle lifts up off the ground and starts to hum again. And you can drive as fast as you like, or as stealthily, or as much of both as you like. But you're now in control, Johnny.
Oh, there's a happy face on it. I think this is a good sign, guys. Okay. And Johnny just he does a thing that he's seen in like older movies where they just put their foot on the pedal and just go. Like he just floors it because he's seen like pedal to the metal, baby. So that's what he does. Yeah. He floors it.
So in Johnny's case, it's really more metal to the pedal to the metal. So
yay.
You in the car make an industrial steel sandwich, and and the vehicle just you see the spike just jam up into the red, throttle all the way to the front, and away you go. So Johnny, you could theoretically, because you know the neighborhood pretty well, and you're driving recklessly, you could theoretically get there before the police have a chance to like cordon it off, right? Okay. So why don't we have you make a roll?
Right.
Now, you have a couple of options, right? Do you want to, if you go there as fast as possible, this is going to ignore any potential like collateral damage to the vehicle. Maybe you drive through a melon cart or something, right? Like you're just gunning it as hard as you can. That's the speed approach. Or, as I think Yasna suggested, you could try a stealthy approach and try to avoid being seen. Which do you prefer?
I don't think he's going to try and be stealthy. I think he's genuinely going to just, he's going as fast as
we say in Canada. You're just gonna give her. Okay. Cool. Well, let's make you make a roll. Just fucking give her. Okay. Take her for a rip. So the difficulty on this is just gonna be, I think, just two purple, and it'll be a pilot or drive test. Yeah, driving or piloting. It's a hover vehicle. It operates
driving or piloting.
Whichever.
Let's do just driving. Just a straight driving roll.
Suddenly, Johnny Be Good comes on the radio.
Oh, good shape.
I mean, I think once you reach a certain miles per hour, it automatically starts playing banjo music. I think that's just like a thing that all vehicles do once you reach, 80 miles an hour.
The Back to the Future thing.
Oh, those Collins boys are at it again. All right, so Johnny, how Dukes of Hazzard is this? Like, are you just like, do we see the car like launching off of curved streets and like crashing into shit, or is Johnny a fairly adept driver? I'm gonna leave it up to you to describe this scene, but you go fast and you get where you need to get.
So, Johnny's having a great time because he's thinking like, wow, this is easy. This is so easy. All I have to do is just put my foot on the pedal and turn it. It is fine. We're totally fine. Meanwhile, He's running over like little like animals that are meant to be like pets out in the yard or whatever, out in people's yards. The scene here is that Johnny
snore snag.
he's on the curb, right? But people like, I guess they keep like future Furbies, right? Just out in the yard to like run around and arf arf, and it's just kind of I don't know. Johnny ran over one of those. So
you're
whoever
screaming like they killed Tom, no!
Exactly. Meanwhile, we're like listening to like
shut up,
so
DJ, you don't know what you're talking about.
We see
right.
a woman.
We're like
we see a woman
blasting
in a
Tom
big,
Petty or something, and Johnny's just like
we see a woman in a big
American
coat, right?
Yeah.
A woman in a big coat.
Yeah.
And she's standing on the sidewalk and she's holding a leash. And on the other end of the leash is like a spherical ball of fur with little feet sticking out of the bottom, right? I'm imagining like the monsters from Critters. Like it's just like a sphere with a big mouth and eyes in the front. And she's standing there and she's got her like fur muff on and her hood up, and she's like, all right, Mr. Snippets, let's go. Come on, it's cold. Time to get back in. And then you rip by, and she's just holding the leash, and she looks at it and she's like, oh no, and like watches you as you drive.
It's like red mist.
That's exactly it.
Right.
That's exactly it. So
Awesome.
So Johnny's just hauling ass through wherever we are right now. He's running over curbs. It's quite so like this vehicle, as you described it, I believe is pretty hardy. Like it can take a beating. Yeah.
SUV.
So it's just, I mean, he's just running into crap. Like he dinged a fence. He's on the curb. You know, you can hear like a ton of stuff just going underneath the car, but he's having a great time. He's having so much fun doing this.
So when you arrive, there is like part of a chain link fence trapped under the car, dragging on the street. There's like a shower of sparks. The front, like one of the headlights is smashed out. There's debris all up in the front of the car. But you get there fast, and you get there just sort of, you pull up in time, and there's a hole in one of the side walls. The building is on fire. The building next to it is on fire. And I think if this is the store here, where do you want the car to end up as we're resolving Autumn's next bit?
Well, I think he's probably not. He's not sure where to park. I mean, he doesn't know the concept of parking. So I think he's just whenever they want him to stop, that's where he'll stop the car.
Okay.
So when we arrive, if let's say he's just driving, he's not quite sure where the brakes are because he's only ever seen like the pedal situation. So I assume he passes it.
Okay.
And you know,
is Haley still like? I feel like Johnny maybe hit pedal to the metal while Haley was still down there like messing with stuff.
Seatbelts, young lady. Yes, definitely.
So maybe she just like put both her little hands on the brake or like pull back on the throttle.
Yeah. So Johnny, you're just giving her, and then suddenly, the vehicle, like if you, Haley, you can just pull the e-brake or whatever, and and suddenly the vehicle spins. It spins the back end, and it bumps into the wall, and I think you probably land somewhere kind of in this vicinity, like up here, and so that's where you end up. So you like collides with the corner of this building. There's like a convenience store here. Meanwhile, inside, Autumn, you have mere seconds remaining, and for folks at home who are like, this has been longer than 10 seconds, it's 10 cinematic seconds. So you know,
it's as long as
you see it coming down. She's on top of you. Basically, you realize you need to get out from under this woman, and out of this building, or you are going to die here. So what are you gonna do?
I'll try and like shove her off and like try and get free, but I think this is pure desperation, but this is not Autumn's strong point, and I can't use my psychics again. Like I'm super torched already. Like one bad roll and I'm out. So this is the last chance. So I'm just gonna try and shove her off and try and make a run for it.
Okay, so you're lying on your back. She's on top of you. Her hair is hanging down in front of you, all dripping with blood. Her face is just this crazed mask of like vengeance and glee. I think she's got the scalpel in her right hand and her left hand on top of her fist, and she's pushing down, and you
I've
got your
got her
hands on her
arms.
wrists, and the scalpel's like
Yeah.
coming down towards your face. So
Yep.
yeah, go ahead and make that roll. She has 3 brawn, so just 3 green, 3 green dice
purples
on her side.
I don't know if I can't physically do this unless I roll crazy good, because my brawn is, I'm guessing it's brawl I'm making a roll with.
Yes.
Yep. It's 1 green. I'll spend a story point. So
yeah, seems prudent.
Are you gonna spend 1?
So is it what, one yellow against 3?
Right now it's against 3 purples. Yeah. Are you spending it? Are you gonna spend 1, Adam?
This situation is grim enough.
You gonna
for
spend
you,
1?
So
are you gonna spend 1, Adam?
I'm not.
Why
I'm
would you?
definitely
Why
going
have you
to.
asked him 5 times, Mark?
So what's happened here, with folks at home? What you're watching is
funny.
you've seen a man cross over from thinking he could live into
to just
no
accepting
longer
it.
being afraid of death. That's right. This is what you can do when you're not afraid to die anymore. You can mock the GM openly.
Yeah, here we go. No.
Oh no. Okay.
I just had nothing left. I've got nothing left. Yep. Oh well, that's it. I'm unconscious.
You take a strain, yeah, and so I think that's what we see is her pushing the knife down, and then she leans
cinematically.
back.
Adam, can I spend that last story point that I have enough strength to hold Christine in place until the timer goes off?
Well, so there is still
Marcus, I'm literally unconscious. This is the last thing I can do.
We're not that far away.
Them out with me.
I would at least like one opportunity.
So here's the thing.
This place is blowing up.
So I'll say this: in keeping with your existing success with Ian, unless Ian is dragged out of here bodily, that's it. Right? He's
both
toast.
of them.
Okay. You were knocked unconscious. So when we cut from there, I'm gonna leave it uncertain as to whether you got stabbed in the face or what. But I can also tell you, based on Christine's programming, she would sooner die here than she'll die trying to drag him out. Right.
Him out. Okay.
Now that vengeance is so we see her pushing the scalpel down, trying to jab you in the eye with it, and then she pulls back and snarls and then shoves down, and at the end of that strike, everything goes black. Right. We don't see you get stabbed in the face or anything, and we cut to the other 3 getting out of the car. So what are you gonna do? Haley, Johnny,
is that where we
stop
this yellow?
We cut to you. Yep. Yeah, you're up here.
And we could definitely tell at this point the smoke is coming from there.
Oh right? Yeah, a bomb has gone off in that building. Yep.
All right, I'm running for it, team.
Okay. So basically, as soon as you get into the alley, you see back here, you come around the corner and to get into that alley, you get out of the vehicle, you see Hugh and Diocles, and they're standing, they look when the car bonks into the building, and they look up, and Hugh shouts, "She's still in there," and points, and as you go by, he shouts, "But there's no time," and tries to grab you as you go by, like, "No, Yasna, don't." What are you gonna do? You're gonna try to dodge Hugh and go in there, or do you stop?
I am.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, Hugh's not. I don't even have his physical stats because he's not.
I think he was like 3 brawn last time because he
was
high
brawn. Yeah, high brawn, but no like brawl or training or whatever. So he's a little uncertain. He's kind of injured. So let's say make it 2 purple. If you can make like a coordination or athletics roll to kind of juke him, you can get past him.
Okay. Well, that's no big deal. Let me reset this. Athletics, you said?
Yeah, or coordination. Both are
okay.
Both are appropriate.
And here. Against what?
One is a shoulder check, the other is a dodge.
2 purples. Yeah. Sorry.
Got it.
I was just trying to jump.
That's okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, so
that's quo.
So in this case, he doesn't stop you, but he slows you down long enough that this now becomes everybody has a chance to do one last thing. So before we get there though, Yasna, you get as far as Hugh, he slows you down like a second and then you shove him out of the way and he shouts, "No, you can't. You'll die." And Haley and Johnny, you have an opportunity to do something, and then I'm going to get one more action from everybody who's still conscious, and then the building explodes. So Haley and Johnny, what are you doing as Yasna is running down the alley towards the building?
I imagine Johnny would ask Haley, "Hey, do you want me to give you a piggyback ride so we can go quicker?"
Sure.
And Johnny scoops her up and just has her on his back. And they book it.
Okay, so like a Banjo-Kazooie type situation. You just have Haley on your back and
absolutely
just run after.
Backpack.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so that's Johnny. That's your action. Haley, what are you doing while you're being scooped up onto Johnny's back?
I think she's making sure she has her gun ready, and is really trying to keep an eye out for Autumn, and then keep an eye out for any whoever would have caused the explosion, or I'm sure she suspects that she's like, I fucking told you so. Yeah, looking for a target.
Make a perception roll.
What difficulty?
Just say 2. It's a tense situation, but there's no additional penalty.
I have no points in the. You said perception?
Yeah.
Whoops. Okay. Well.
Okay. So you have no idea what's going on. There's been an explosion. You get three fails, but you do get two advantage. So you can hold on to those to give yourself a blue die or 2 blue dice, or give any other person 1 blue die. So make sure you spend those. Okay. So you're up on Johnny's back, master blastering it on your way into the alley. Yasna bumps into Hugh. This is it. Everybody gets one thing they can do now. Yasna, you can see the blue flashing lights of the police cars that have just pulled into the on the other side of the street over here, all these blue boxes. So a bunch of police vehicles pull up to the front of the store. There's smoke pouring out of the back. They're getting out and moving towards the front of the store. And you are in the alley. Hugh is no longer trying to stop you because you've just kind of nudged him out of the way. I guess you used athletics, so you shoulder checked him. So he got bashed up against the wall, and he's shouting don't go in there, you're going to die. Diocles is looking around how did this happen to me? You hear your friends coming up behind you.
Him.
Right?
How did this happen to me? I'm Diocles.
Oh my God.
So in any order, Yasna, Johnny, and Haley can each do one thing.
Is it correct in saying that one thing could be running up to the door to watch the building explode? I don't understand what one thing,
right. What you're worried about is getting in, and so depending on how you roll, you could definitely get in. You might have to roll to get out, right? That's the question. Yes, Haley.
What, Merlot?
So apparently when Haley needs attention, she turns into a putty. Vana, yes, you have a Power Ranger you'd like to fight.
Oh my God.
Putties are the best,
man. I want Johnny to huck me on the roof.
So just
that's not up to me. That's up to Johnny.
You just want to be thrown on the roof.
Roll me. I'm small. You're strong. If I can get at the hole in the roof, if I can get at the hole in the roof, I might have a good angle on what's going on in there.
Okay. Sure.
Yeets me.
Okay, so
Johnny.
Oh no!
Activate the Jonapult. So Johnny, that'll be your action. We'll be throwing Haley onto the roof. Haley's not that big, and if you grab her by her belt and kind of alley-oop her up there, then you could at least get her to the edge and she could scramble up onto the roof. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. Okay. So, what do I need to roll for this?
Can I help? Can I assist? Because I have a pretty high.
How would I need to shuck her up there?
Yes. So it's athletics, and then Haley's natural coordination can also assist. So what do you have in I guess what's your pool, Johnny, for an athletics roll?
I have 4 green.
Okay, 4 green. Okay, so we'll start there. Haley, how many ranks in coordination do you have?
3. 3
okay,
yellow.
Wow, this is gonna be a good roll. Okay, so Johnny, you're gonna roll with
it's gonna be a great roll.
You're gonna roll three purple in the pool. And 3 upgrades on your side. Haley's coordination.
3
Haley's actually
upgrades
very
on my
easy
side?
to throw. 3 on yours. Yes, from Haley's skill.
I know how to I've done this in movies. So when you throw me, I know how to best bend my knees and then extend them at the exact right moment.
You've done lots of acrobatic routines, like in the middle of a dance number where a bigger co-star throws you to another co-star. Yeah, totally. Like being a kid and knowing how to get thrown properly without injuring yourself and make it easier for you to get caught. That's a skill you would have learned. That's so weird.
Johnny's one co-star, and then what? The exploding building is the other co-star that is.
Okay. Why don't you just play some more PoE, okay? And then we'll call you when it's your turn.
I don't want you to die.
Yeah, I mean, this is a classic scene. This is a classic scene out of Haley Sky, the littlest firefighter.
I'm gonna put out that fire and I'm gonna save the day.
That's right. You have the script rolling through your head, Haley, where you're I think probably you would almost because this is learned program behavior. You're almost seeing an overlay of where your marks are, where you're okay, and on 3 I have to land here, tuck and roll, left, right, left, pivot, flick my hair, wink at the camera, and then dive into the fire. Yeah.
Instead of a hose, I have a fucking gun. Good.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So
all right.
I'm
Johnny, this is the thing. So hang on one second. I have one more question.
Okay.
So Haley, you are currently sitting on 2 advantage. Would you like to give Johnny a blue die for this and use those advantage?
I think we have it. So I think I want to save it for autumn or when the building explodes and I need to do a tuck and roll.
Yes. All right, Johnny. It is you're good to go. So it's your regular athletics. Regular athletics. You've got 3 upgrades on your side and 3 purples on the other side.
Okay, here we go, boys.
All you need is 1 success. Okay. So here's the thing. You don't do it because there's no success. So you don't get hold on. Haley doesn't go into the roof.
There's no success.
You gotta triumph. So Johnny, you realize as you're getting ready to throw Haley, you realize that you can do something else instead. Haley is heavier than you thought, and you miss she's not gonna land on the roof. You can, however, throw her hard enough to put her through a back window.
Jesus.
Now she won't be on the roof. She'll be on the ground floor instead of the roof. But yeah, if you change the trajectory, the same amount of force will launch her through a window. The window's glass, so or you can just and then not throw her, in which case Haley is not in the building.
Okay.
Put me through that window, Elspeth. Let's go.
That is your decision, Johnny. That's what I'm going to suggest as your triumph with no success. You can blast her through the glass window instead. Less this, more this. Just lateral, cannonball her. Because remember, Johnny, your experience throwing people is throwing drunks. So you throw them at a lower angle to get them far away from the entrance of the bar.
Out the
not
window,
onto the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, through windows.
Through the window. Yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
I'm mad at you
Johnny
all.
just yeets Haley through a window.
Okay, all right. So
that's
now
our solution here. It's awful.
The thing, I'm really, really tempted to make there be a roll here to see if you go through the window or just bounce off of it. But I think it's reasonable for you to smash through it. So
she's
Haley,
5.
If you curl up in a ball, yeah, you're fine. Okay. So it's the window. It would be if you're in the alleyway here and you're launching. It wouldn't be into the office. It would be into the storeroom, which is where the explosion was. Because remember, there's a hall. It's set up like this, and then here's the elevator. So there's a big fire. I'll use a different color for it. So there's a big fire and a hole in the wall, and there's all this smoke coming up from here. Right? Big plumes of smoke. And you are throwing Haley this way, right through this window. She'll end in this storeroom, right in the middle of the debris.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know where it's a storeroom. I'm just Johnny's assuming that there is a floor in there, so she'll land on it.
Okay. All right. So Haley, I'm gonna get you. This isn't your action. You'll get your action once you land, but I want to get you. I want a like a tuck and roll. I want to see how much damage you take getting thrown through a plate glass window. So
can I use my coordination to like do a stunt move? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's the idea. Is you want to hit it. You want to hit it like with your fists or something. Break the window. I don't know.
Well,
actual
tuck
stunt
and
people,
roll,
let me know. But yeah, so you don't. Yeah, so you don't go face first into the window and have your neck sliced open. But yeah, you want to tuck in, cannonball through the window and try to roll and land on your feet like a cool ninja instead of hitting it side on and having all your organs lacerated. So make a coordination roll. We'll say 3 difficulty. Johnny, do you want to pass that? Oh, you can't because it's only 1. You got to hold on to that advantage. But Haley, I'll give you an upgrade on the roll because it's still a crit.
All right.
Yeah, coordination, 1 upgrade, difficulty, 3 purple. Nice, you do it. There you go. All right. It is a beautiful landing at the scene of the crime. You smash through the window. Yasna, Yasna, for you watch Johnny just fucking yeet Haley through a closed window. She just takes her and goes. Johnny goes like 1, and just smash right through the window, and Haley disappears into a cloud of smoke. On the other side, Haley,
save her, Yasna. Save the little
you
one.
hit the ground. You roll. You land on your feet. Here's what you see. So, the elevator next to you is shut, and it's warning like fire. Right? There is a fire, right? Bunch of boxes and crates lit on fire. The ceiling is burning. There's smoke pouring into the room. You see the door open. There's a laser blast on it. It's broken. And there is, and I don't think we mentioned this before, there's what kind of looks like a closet off to one side, and it has the sort of universal symbol for like a bathroom. And the door is locked, and inside you hear rattling, and you hear a voice shouting, "Hey! Hey, let me out of here. What's going on?"
I knew Adam wasn't going to forget him. I knew Adam wouldn't forget him.
So you hear Peanut locked in the bathroom next to you, screaming like, "Help, help me. Help, oh God. Yes! It's really hot in here." So, Haley and Yasna, let's come back to Yasna. So Yasna, what do you want to do? You watch all this happening. While it's going on, you're also taking an action. What do you want to be doing?
I mean, I think I would probably go for the far door.
The office door?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So as Haley is taking off, you are running full tilt to the office door. You jump up, kick it open, and inside you see Hugh's desk. You see a shit ton of smoke when you open the door. A wave of heat and smoke pours out of the door. You see Hugh's desk, you see a pool of blood, you see Autumn's legs sticking out from under the desk, and you see Christine, covered in blood, standing next to Ian, who I think you still know as Martin. Martin is lying there having a seizure, and Christine is shaking him like, "Come on, baby, wake up, come on, we got to get out of here." And she's like she's got her, I think she puts her hands under his armpits and starts trying to drag him out back towards where you hear the glass break. She turns and looks. She hasn't noticed you yet. What do you do?
I mean, I think like for me, this is very simple. I grab Autumn's legs and try to pull her out of the building.
Okay. All right. So you run over to Autumn, and you grab her and start dragging her out of there. Okay. Haley, what are you doing?
Do I have a view on the situation now?
No, I think what you see is coming from this room. You see Christine. She's got her back to you because she's dragging him. You see Christine drag a spasming Martin into the room. Again, she hasn't seen you either. She's like total tunnel vision on him.
Great. I'm going to shoot her in the back of the head.
Okay. All right.
Such a psycho. I love it. No idea what's going on. No idea what's happening.
going on? She predicted this. She said this shit was gonna happen. What do you mean she doesn't know what's going on?
So
she called the fucking shot. Mark,
make a ranged attack. Make a ranged
Great.
attack. There's no difficulty, right? You basically just bring the gun up and fire at the back of her head. So yeah, no difficulty. And don't forget your accuracy bonus for the gun, the extra blue die.
One upgrade. Oh no, one blue die.
One blue die. Yeah.
Range light. Okay, here we go.
Oh my god! Oh, there's no.
That represents 5 bullets, 5 shots.
I will. You know what?
Oh heck!
I'll let you. What does this look like, Vanna? You describe Haley doing this because you kill her. You kill her in one shot. She's dead. She's at your mercy. What does that look like?
So Haley gets yeeted through the window by Johnny.
Yeah.
In the we kind of see it like slow-mo in like the smattering of glass. There's a look on her face where she's like, okay, this was not the plan, but you know what? We're gonna adapt. And then she does like a tuck and roll, lands upright with like one arm up, and then like her gun pointed out with the other. And she sort of gets a beat on the situation. She sees Christine pulling Martin along. The building's on fire. The explosion's happening, and under her breath, she's like, "I fucking told you so." And then she just like sideways pistol like shoots.
Yeah, and
shoots Christine in the back of the head.
As you're bringing the gun up, the gun has in its little augmented reality display. It says like. Adjusting for environment, there we are, pleasant shooting. And then you blast her in the face and she slumps over on top of him, smoldering hole in the back of her head. Ian's seizures are starting to cease, but here's the big roll. So Haley, Johnny, you were at a safe distance. We cut to, and Yasna, I guess you would hear this. You lunge in, you grab Autumn, drag her off from under the desk. You hear the like, beep, 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 as the thing is about to go. Right. Yeah, right. So you grab her, throw her into a fireman's carry. Haley and Yasna, you both need to get the shit out of here before the building explodes. So this is the big roll. So
all right,
it's gonna be athletics. It's gonna be athletics to get free, right? Get out of there as fast as you can because you're just hoofing it, right?
What about coordination though? Have you considered?
I'm afraid this
Our
is
Lord and
purely
Savior.
speed.
Coordination.
So let's talk about this. You both need to roll. All you need is one success. The difficulty to get out of here to a safe distance is just going to be 2 purple. And for you, Yasna, you are adding an extra black because you're carrying Autumn. Autumn is a burden, but Autumn is pretty small and fairly light, so it's just one purple.
Okay.
So whoever wants to go first, I am entirely okay with either way.
So I'm gonna have help me understand one more time. I'm gonna have
okay. So in the
one
pool,
black,
in your pool,
you said. Yeah.
1 black and 2 purple.
And 2 purple.
And then you're gonna be rolling an athletics roll.
Okay. We have 1 story point left, right?
You do.
Haley might need that if this is athletics.
I have 2 advantage to hand out.
That's true.
So if you need
2 blues.
If you need one, let me know.
You can either use 2 blue on yourself or you can give 1 blue to Yasna.
I have 4 advantage total because I saved mine from my previous roll.
Yeah,
as
so
well
you
as
have
the shot as well.
You could give 2 to Yasna, or you could take 4 yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could do
so
2
I have a 3 athletics.
Yep.
I could just, I've been banking XP, man. To be the role.
You could suddenly become more athletic. Yep, that's definitely a thing you could do.
Fuck yeah, man.
Good.
The adrenaline is going.
Good.
I just saw fucking, Haley get totally thrown into the building.
Yeah, we're not talking about 3 ranks. We're not talking about 3 ranks in athletics, right? We're talking about like 3 green in the pool. Do you have any ranks in athletics, or do you actually have
Oh yeah, it's a career, and I have 4 ranks now officially.
Wow, you're so athletic. Oh yeah, you do. You're rolling 4 yellows. If you roll this. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
So I want you to use the story point. So I'm just gonna roll this straight up. Use all your advantages.
Good shapes, good shapes, good shapes.
Good shapes. All right. So
one
nothing on my side.
Yazan,
One
Yazan
black,
on
2 purple against 4 yellows.
Yeah.
Appendix.
Statistically,
don't fail me now, Appendix. Don't fucking fail me now, Appendix.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that roll.
Oh my fucking god.
Very nice. So it is one success, which is the most important bit. 1 success, 3 advantage, and two remaining triumphs. So with those triumphs, you can either save them for upgrades. Now you can't pass them to Haley because this is happening at the exact same time, but I promise there will be a roll that you will want to consider saving them for on the second one. So Haley, let's have you make a roll, because getting out of the building doesn't mean getting to a safe distance, right?
Right.
So Haley, go ahead and make that athletics roll. Now for you, same difficulty, right? 2 purple, no black dice.
Well, can I can I argue for coordination? Because what if I use like my free action to yell down to Johnny and be like, catch me?
I'll read the description of the 2 skills, and then
I do a flip. I do a flip out the window into Johnny's loving arms. Loving embrace.
I feel like I swear to God, every role-playing game in the history of time is like the GM says make an athletics check, and the player says, but what about acrobatics? What if I roll that instead?
Come on,
every
it makes
goddamn
sense for
game.
her.
What if I do 3 backflips? Is it acrobatics?
This says athletics is brawn based. Like that's not
yeah, but this is speed, right? You're not running an obstacle course.
Coordination is like balance.
The description.
Agility to do a flip out of a window.
I hear what you're saying, but no.
If Adam lets this slide, I'm gonna be partially annoyed because I'm always
climbing, running, jumping. Yeah, this is athletics. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely athletic.
I was gonna be so mad.
Okay. All right, Haley.
Well. I spent it all at the beginning of the episode like a fool.
I have a question. Is there any way that I can use one of my triumphs as an advantage to Haley?
Yes. Yeah, you can give Haley an upgrade if you want to spend one of those 2.
Okay. Well, we'll do that.
I have 4 though, Wheat, if you want to save yours.
Well, you have 4 blue. No, you have 4 blue, and Marcus has an upgrade that can be passed on.
Right, but you just said he's going to need it in a second.
Well, actually, I'll keep the triumphs and I'll spend the 2 advantage to give another blue, right?
He said you can't do that because it's happening simultaneously.
Yes, that's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah, true. This is sorry. Yes, this is happening at the same time as Haley. Okay. Yeah, so you can't.
If I die, I die.
Yeah.
Dude,
spring break.
No.
22.
No.
That's Haley. No. That's Vana just messing. That's Vana trying to be chill. Vana doesn't want Haley to die.
So difficulty is two purples. You have your athletic skill. Are you going to spend all 4 of your advantage and add 4 blue dice to your pool?
Oh, I've got it. I don't have any ranks in athletics. Wait, no, yes I do. Why am I so upset about athletics? I have 2 ranks in it. I don't know what happened in my brain. I'm using all 4 of my upgrades.
Okay. All right. So they're not upgrades. They're the blue dice. Yeah.
4 blue die, boost. 2 purple die, 2 ranks in athletics. Right? Good?
Okay. Yeah.
Good shapes. Johnny, catch me!
Oh, yes.
There you go. Okay. All right. So you leap out of the broken window. You land in the street. Yeah, you land, Johnny grabs you as you leap from the window. Yasna carrying Autumn, you flee out of the building. The thing is, there's only so much distance that a human leg can carry. So we cut to the inside of a cramped, looks like the inside of a porta potty. And we see pants still around his ankles. We see Peanut. Peanut is holding, balled up in one hand, this last month's issue of Angels of Seraph, an adult magazine. He's got that clutched in his hand, and he's banging on the door And the door keeps saying, "We're sorry, there's been an error. Please wait for assistance." And he's just like, "You gotta get me out of..." And then the building explodes.
Peanut.
From the outside, we get some quick shots of each sort of group. We see Peanut. We cut to the police that are approaching the door with their weapons drawn, right? They're like,
2 by 2
defense force, please stand down. This is the police. They're going to open the door, right? We see them approaching carefully. We cut to the three of you and Autumn unconscious in the alley, and then the building explodes, throwing debris and fire up in the air, several feet, a column of fire and smoke, and the alleys fill with exploding building, bits of concrete and glass and steel flying everywhere. And it's on that scene that we're going to take our break, because when we come back, everybody's going to have to get hit by some flying debris, and we'll see how we all do at the end of that business. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more of this week's episode of Far Verona.